Hello and welcome back to Exothermic Plays Games. I'm Exothermic and the date today is Sunday, September 15th, 2024. I've been doing a countdown of my favorite video games of all time through each day of the year, and coming in at number 108 is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Superstar Saga is one of a few Mario role-playing games, and some elements are done in a similar vein to Paper Mario, which came before it, but for the first time on a handheld device. There's a lot of unique gameplay elements to it too, especially regarding the puzzle sections that I really appreciate and make it stand out on its own, rather than feeling just like being a smaller Game Boy Advance port of a much more overall ambitious game. The game starts off with Bowser trying to kidnap Princess Peach as usual, but her voice has been stolen by a new threat from a faraway land. Of course, Bowser can't utilize Peach to win the hearts and minds of his people if they can't hear her, so he's off to defeat the evil wizard or whatever that did it. Joining Bowser is, of course, Mario and, almost by accident, Luigi. You're going to war side by side. However, you get immediately shot out of the sky, and Bowser is rather comically removed from the story. The game features the two brothers in combat together, doing turn-based RPG fighting against a wide variety of enemies. You can do simple things like jump on them or hit them with your hammer, but you get a timing bonus if you press the A button for Mario or the B button for Luigi just before the attack hits. Additionally, you can try to dodge effects by, again, pressing A or B for the respective character just before they would be hit in order to jump. The added elements, both offensively and defensively, are a lot of fun, and splitting it for the different characters on separate buttons creates for some interesting moments, especially in boss fights where you might be getting rapid succession of attacks towards both brothers at the same time. For some enemies that might be attacking you that you can't jump on them, you have a hammer that you can use, and when you're defending with the hammer, you have to hold it down and then release it right at the right time. Also worth mentioning that some attacks, when you jump to dodge, if you can actually dodge it to land on the enemy, you deal damage to them instead of them hurting you. It's a lot of fun, it's great. The thing that makes the combat really interesting and memorable, however, is the team-up attacks. You can chain together buttons with pretty tight timing windows in order to unleash a much stronger attack at the cost of a resource called battle points, and if you do it all without missing, you do massive damage. Mess it up though, and it might actually be worse than normal attacks, so make sure you're doing it right. You get bigger rewards if you do the higher difficulty windows, with the toughest one not even giving actual prompts for the buttons either, almost turning it into like a rhythm game segment of sorts. A very simple and crude one, but rhythm game nonetheless. The combat is a lot of fun, and as you level up your characters, you can start doing some pretty neat stuff with them, including some cool items you'll find along the way. But the bulk of your time in this game is not actually the fighting. It's probably going to be spent doing puzzles and platforming. Pressing the select button switches which character is in front, which is who you're largely controlling for movement, but it also allows you to do different puzzle motions. You can have Luigi jump on top of Mario and then do a big jump to reach high places, or you can flip it to have Mario on top for a big spin jump that very much so defies physics to briefly fly. From there, there's loads of level interactions you'll do with that, including, for example, having Mario suck up a bunch of water, then kind of waddling over to a flaming idol, and have Luigi jump on top of him to spit it out to douse the flames. This causes something else to spit out a little tornado or gust of wind, which if you do the spin jump into it, can launch you in whatever direction you pick. It's a lot of fun, and admittedly, some of these puzzles get pretty complicated, doing intricate movements like launching yourself back into the spinning, moving tornado to keep going across massive distances. Learning all of the little tricks you can do is a very rewarding experience that I would normally never expect on the Game Boy Advance. The game is filled with humor and a lighthearted adventure, but the actual gameplay is a pretty tight, rewarding experience that doesn't shy away from difficulty, and for Mario, some pretty steep learning curves. When I don't care much for the story itself, the characters and references are a lot of fun, and the combat and puzzles alike are great. Join me tomorrow as I talk about my 107th favorite game, where I play one of the most influential games of my life.